there! Thank you for checking out my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. This video is part of the series of videos I'm posting to try to help people out when it comes to aptitude tests like the civil service exam. This video in particular is part of my series on math lessons. This is part 4 of our series on radicals. Today we're going to talk about dividing radicals. So if you haven't seen parts 1 to 3 of those videos, you can click right here to catch up para mapanood nyo yun. We already talked about simplifying radicals, adding and subtracting radicals, as well as multiplying radicals. This is the last lesson. So I hope that you already watched those para may foundation na kayo for this. Because if you haven't seen those, you're going to have a hard time catching up. So if you haven't seen those yet, pause nyo muna, watch those, and then balikan nyo na lang ako. If you have, go to page 11 of your workbook number 1. If you have a workbook, we're going to discuss the remaining items to solve these with me. And in order for me to show you that in your number 6, 7, and 8 then, you can switch. I am going to switch over to my PC so I can show you better. Right? See you in a bit. Okay, so this is part 4 ng ating lesson, dividing radicals naman tayo. First thing we're going to do is yung concept na gusto kong introduce sa inyo, which is the rule. Ang rule when it comes to radicals na dividing radicals is this: no radicals under. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Bawal na mayroong radical na may iiwan sa ilalim. So, in this case, square root of 2 over square root of 11, hindi pwede itong maging final answer kasi may radical ka pa sa ilalim. Radical pa yung square root of 11. So, in order for us to proceed, kailangan ninyo tanggalin yung radical na yan. And the only way you can do that is to multiply something to this number, which is equal to 1, na magtatanggal nitong radical na yan. Now, let me explain that. Again, this is why it's important that you've seen yung first 3 videos. Kasi kung hindi nyo pa napapanood yung simplifying radicals, adding, subtracting radicals, and multiplying radicals especially, mahihirapan kayo to follow along. So, again, this is your chance. I-pause nyo muna to and watch those 3 videos if you haven't seen that yet. Okay? Ngayon, if you've seen that, let's proceed. Ngayon, I want you to remember this, no? Di ba meron tayong identity property? Okay, ang identity property natin ng multiplication and addition means that any number multiplied by 1 will be itself pa rin. Walang magbabago. So, by theory, ibig sabihin, kahit mag-multiply ka ng 3 over 5 over 5, right? It will still be 3. And if you actually solve that through, that's going to be 15 over 5, which is also 3. So again, same concept. Babalik lang siya dun sa sarili niya. Kasi yung 5 over 5, equal siya sa 1. So, ibig sabihin, any fraction yan, kahit gawin mo square root of 2 over square root of 2, this will still be 1. So, ibig sabihin, same pa rin ng same ang lalabas. Knowing that, pwede nating balikan ito. In order for us to remove yung radical na square root of 11, imumultiply natin ito ngayon by 1. At yung 1 na yan will take this form. Square root of 11 over square root of 11. Bakit? Kasi pag dinivide mo siya sa isa't isa, 1 pa rin yan. Ang equivalent nitong entire thing na yan is 1. Okay? Kaya lang, may magbabago. Kasi, yung square root of 11, meron na siyang kapares. Nakikita niyo yan, right? Kapares na siya. So, kung kapares siya, pwede mo na siyang ilabas dun sa payong. Ibig sabihin, ang number sa ilalim will be 11. Okay? Mawawala na yung radical. Pwede na siya maging sagot. However, dahil nag-multiply ka ng 1, sa taas, kailangan mag-multiply ka rin ng 11. So, magbabago ngayon tong number na to. Okay? And if you've seen yung multiplication ng radicals natin, di ba, ang rule natin is multiply everything na nasa labas, tapos multiply everything na nasa loob, mananatili sila sa payong unless meron silang kapares. So, in this case, yung 2 prime na siya, yung 11 prime na siya, pag multiply mo siya, magiging 22. Okay? Square root of 22. May pwede pa ba akong ilabas doon sa 22? Wala na kasi 2 and 11 ang factors niyan. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? What will happen would be this, okay? We are going to answer square root of 22 over 11. It's still equal sa square root of 2 over square root of 11. However, this is the proper way to write it. So, ang tamang sagot, ang hanapin sa options is this. Yung walang radical sa ilalim. Okay? So, paano ito makakatulong sa exam? Again, same thing. If you're eliminating lang yung mga options ninyo, nakakita kayo ng dividing ng radical, tapos meron kayong mga nakitang option na may square root sa ilalim, okay? At isa lang yung walang square root, shadean nyo na yun. Kung wala na kayong time, shadean nyo na yun kasi hindi pwedeng maging final answer yung may square root sa ilalim kasi hindi siya proper way ng pagsusulat doon. Probably yun ang trick question doon. So, ang gagawin ninyo, hanapin ninyo yung may whole number or pwedeng kahit wala. Okay? Ang hanapin ninyo yung walang square root sa ilalim. Okay? Ngayon, try natin a different question. Okay? Alright. So, this time, we're going to talk about square root ng 77 and divided by the square root of 112. Tingnan natin to. So, square root of 77 over square root of 112. Ngayon, i-multiply ko na ba siya agad doon sa times square root of 112 over square root of 112? Probably not muna kasi baka may pwede pa akong i-cancel. Kasi again, like I told you before, ang rules ng polynomials apply sa rules ng radicals. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Di ba pag nag-divide tayo ng polynomials, kunyari meron kang 9a squared over 3a. Anong ginagawa natin? Lahat nung nasa labas, di ba? 9 divided by 3, pwede mo yan i-cancel. Magiging 3 na lang matitira kasi 1 na lang yung nasa ilalim. Yung a squared, dalawa yung a ang ibig sabihin yan, right? So, i-divide mo siya sa isang a. Ibig sabihin, mabubura to, may matitirang isang a sa taas. So, the answer will be 3a. Again, if you're not yet comfortable with this, click nyo dito sa taas, panoorin nyo muna yung series on polynomials. Kasi kung hindi nyo yun naiintindihan, mahihirapan kayo intindihin to. Okay? Ayun. I-factor muna natin yung dalawa. Kasi kung meron siyang common factors pa na pwedeng tanggalin, pwede pa natin siyang gawin. Sa case ng 77, ang factors niya na would be 7 and 11. Wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Okay? So, 112, may options tayo. Pwedeng 2 at saka 56. Okay? Yung 56, pwede uling maging 2 and 26. 2 and 28. Yan. Kasi 28 times 2 is 56. Tapos yung 28 will be 2 and 14, right? Tapos yung 14, pwede siya maging 2 and 7. Alright? Ngayon, may pwede ba akong i-cancel? Ngayon, if you see, meron kang 7 dito, meron kang 7 dito. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung meron kang 7 doon at 7 dito sa baba, pwede mong burahin yung 7 na yan. Kasi magiging 1 yan eh. In the same way na ginawa natin dito. Kasi yung 9a squared, equal yan sa 9aa. Pag hinati-hati mo siya, gusto mong hatiin pa uli. Pwede siya maging 3 times a times a over 3 and a. Nagtanggal ka ng isang 3. Dahil meron 3 sa ilalim, nagtanggal ka ng isang a kasi meron siyang equivalent sa ilalim. Ang natira sa'yo yung 3a. Same concept. May pares tayo dito. Meron 7 sa taas, meron kang 7 sa baba, pwede mo na siyang burahin. Ang matitira na ngayon would be this. Okay? Sa taas, ang maiiwan lang ay yung square root of 11. Sa ibaba, okay, may pwede ka pang gawin, which is this. Pwede mo i-multiply, pwede mo ilabas to, kasi may pares ka dito, dalawa dito. Right? Pares yan. Kung may pares yan sa ilalim both, pwede mong ilabas yan doon sa square root. So, magiging 2. Okay? Meron ka ng 2, meron ka pang isang 2. 2 times 2, tapos maiiwan, wala nang maiiwan sa labas. Kasi nabura na rin yung 7. So, ang mangyayari would be, the answer sa ilalim is 4. Kasi meron kang 2 times 2, which is 4. Dahil dito ay hindi na to radical, the final answer will become square root of 11 over 4. Okay? Again, if you have to watch this video paulit-ulit, okay lang yan, as long as makuha ninyo yon. Kaya nga tayo may pause button, kaya nga may replay button for that purpose. Alright? So, dito tayo. 2 square root of 3 divided by 5 square root of 11. What do we do? Okay? Tingnan natin to. 2 square root of 3 over 5 square root of 11. May pwede ba akong, may kailangan ba akong gawin? May anong bang kailangan kong gawin dito? Again, same rules apply. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Hindi rin pa rin pwedeng magkaroon ka ng 11, ng square root of 11 dito sa ilalim. So, what do we do? Again, yung ginawa natin before, right? Which is, multiply natin siya ng square root of 11 over square root of 11. By doing that, ang mangyayari would be, kung kailangan, kung makakatulong sa inyo, pwede yung hatiin yung fraction. Kasi 2 times 5 times 3, square root of 3 to square root of 11 times square root of 11 square root of 11. Kung mas dadali ang buhay ninyo doon, okay lang din. Mangyayari dito would be this. May iwan sa ilalim is 5 times, dahil meron ka ng dalawang 11, pwede mo na siyang ilabas para ma-eliminate yung radical mo. 5 times 11 yung nasa ilalim. Sa taas, magiging 2. And then yung 3 at saka 11, pagsasamahin mo siya ngayon sa ilalim ng payong dahil wala silang kapares, square root of 33. So you have 2 square root of 33 over 55. Now, since wala na tayong magagawa dyan kasi wala nang radicals dun sa ilalim, this would become your answer. Hindi mo na pwede i-cancel yung 2 kasi hindi naman even yung nasa ilalim. So that's your answer na ngayon. Okay? And wrap your head around it. Try this out. Okay? So what's going to happen would be this. I'm going to ask you to pause and then balikan ninyo to see if you got it right. So hit pause now. Pause nyo muna. Alright, let's see if you got it right. So we have 5 square root of 14 over 3 square root of 8. We're going to put everything we learned together. Okay? Ngayon, again, kung kailangan ninyong itabi muna yan, wag nyo muna isipin para hindi kayo masyadong maguluhan. Dito muna tayo. Factor nyo muna siya kasi tignan ninyo, may mga posibilidad ditong pwedeng ilabas or pwedeng i-cancel. So we have 2 and 7. Sa 8, meron kang 2 and 4. Sa 4, meron ka uling 2 and 2. So, what do we do here? Tingnan nyo muna yan sa taas. May pwede pa tayong cancel? Okay, so walang 7 sa ilalim pero meron 2. So, pwede nating burahin yung 2 na yan. Kapares siya nitong 2 na nasa ilalim. Okay? Tapos, itong dalawang to, magkapares siya. Nasa ilalim siya pareho. So, pwede mo ngayon ilabas yung 2. So, what will happen would be this. You have 5 at yung maiwan, which is square root of 7, over, you have 3, yung nauunang original na 3, times 2, kasi pares siya na ilabas natin siya doon. So, you have 6. And then, dahil wala na natitira, that is your answer. So, 3 times 2 is 6. So, the answer is 5 square root of 7 over 6. Okay? Last chance. Alright? Again, I want you to try it out first. Kahit na you get it right, that's okay with me. As long as you keep trying. Okay? So, hit pause now. Alright, let's see if you got it right. So, you have 7 square root of 77 over 7 square root of 112. So, what do we do? Again, factor nyo na sa taas. Kung kailangan nyo kalimutan nyo muna. Or better yet, dahil meron ka na ditong parehong 7 siya, pwede mo na siyang i-cancel. Okay? The same way na pag nakakita kayo ng 3AB over 3A, kinakancel natin yung 3, right? Kasi 3 over 3 is 1. Same concept. A, cancel na yun. May iwan na lang B. So, lahat lang ng walang kapare sa ilalim yun ang matitira sa taas. Tingnan natin to. 7 times 11. 112. Again, balikan natin yun. We have 2 and 56. You have here 2 and 28. Okay, you have 2 and 14, and then eventually you have 2 and 7. So, parang ginawa lang natin kanina, meron ng 7 dito, burahin mo na yan, meron ng 7 sa baba, burahin mo na uli yun. Yung 2 na to, pwede mong ilabas, 2 na ito, pwede mong ilabas, so ibig sabihin, ang number sa ilalim is 4, wala nang iba. Sa taas naman, ang may iiwan, dahil na-cancel yung 7 dyan, ang naiwan lang yung 11 na nasa ilalim ng payong. So, the answer is 11 over, square root of 11 over 4. Okay? Alright, so I hope you learned something new today. If you did, click thumbs up. If you have friends who are also taking the test, share this video to them. This is totally for free para marami sa atin ang matuto. And my dream is for all of you guys who deserve to pass. So, ganun lang yun. This is for free para matuto kayo. There is also a link down below to an exercise that you can answer for free then. So, you can go to that website para makita ninyo yun. Nasa description box lang sa YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can see the link doon. Alright, so subscribe to this channel para malaman ninyo as soon as a new video posts. There are more coming up really soon, and I'll see you in my next video. God bless, adya kaya niyan. Keep learning, keep believing, keep praying, and see you next time.